Hey now, everybody. It's the Rob from Kiss 106 and 103 GBFRocks.com alongside mystery partner. Please welcome to the show, big sweaty Mike Virgin. What's up, Mike?
What's up? We also have our beautiful manager, Magnolia.
Freebird rules, right? We got a 3-person tag.
It's our cruiserweight.
Look how beautiful she is. Oh my gosh, she's getting so big.
Say hi.
Hey, Magnolia. How old is she now, Mike?
She just turned a year old 2 Wednesdays ago.
Wow. Happy birthday. That's great, man.
Yep, she's doing good.
So, Smack, I don't know how long today's episode is going to be because, man, I thought SmackDown was just a cold fish last night.
Well, and I because of the cruiserweight that I own here, I don't get to watch as much.
Everyone owns a cruiserweight nowadays.
Yes, everyone gets a pet cruiserweight. She has not been sleeping too well lately because of her teeth coming in. So I watch highlight videos essentially on YouTube, and like I missed Becky Lynch in the crowd, and I missed something else too that I was like, wow, that's a pretty big thing I missed. I think I missed. I said something about Kevin Owens helping Braun. I missed that on Raw, so I missed some stuff. But it seemed okay. Oddly enough, yeah, I know. Oddly enough, one of the parts that kind of got me the most into it was the Brie Bella of all things.
So I'm kind of with you in that with 5 hours of wrestling to watch a week, I do have a life I have to live. We got some wedding stuff in yesterday that we had to pay attention to. So I was watching out of the corner of my eye, but man, I was expecting SmackDown to really win the week, but I can't give it that this week. I was having such a hard time figuring out what to call this episode. And I wound up calling it, actually what you said was one of the highlights of the show, Brie Bella versus Maryse. If I had to pick a favorite part of the show, though, it was something that it sounds like you missed. I really thought Becky Lynch did a good job surprising Charlotte from the crowd. I actually liked that part the best from the show.
Yeah, it looked like I saw it on Twitter or something, I think, from WWE. And I wasn't looking straight at it, but I couldn't tell it was her until she took the wig off.
So it's funny you mentioned that because it was the commentary that spoiled this for me. For starters, Tom Phillips had this ridiculous call at the very beginning. It says, "Oh my gosh, that's someone from the WWE." You all right, bud?
Yeah. She's being a baby.
Tom Phillips made the call, "Oh my gosh, it's someone from the WWE universe," which just sounded so phony. And then before I even realized who it was and what was going on, Corey Graves spoiled it for me. He's like, "That's Becky Lynch," before she took the wig off and stuff. And I was like, I didn't know yet. Why'd you tell me?
Yeah, you got to give it a second to sink in first.
And Corey Graves doesn't usually blow things like that, but in my opinion, last night, it was two weird calls back to back that really took me out of that moment.
Yeah. There's been a couple. Normally, I like Corey at this point on commentary. There's been a couple of things where I thought something he said was kind of weird. He's venturing back into that super heel commentator where he's like, "Well, yeah, their so and so is good, but you should be scared of this person." I'm like, I mean, yes and no, man. Like, you don't have to be just 100% against anyone who's not a super heel.
Yeah, I feel like with the addition of Renee on the Raw team, that he kind of can go ahead and be a heel commentator because he was kind of like in between in the beginning, and now I feel like with a Snow White baby face like Renee, we might be able to have a full-blown heel.
Yeah, and he might want to give her a second to get used to the main roster commentary before pointing out every dumb thing they say, like she does with Coach or Otunga
or Saxton.
Yeah, Saxton in particular. I think Saxton feeds into it a little bit. I think Coach just says some dumb things because he doesn't care.
That could very well be true. I think he's relegated to like pre-show stuff now.
I hope so. I wasn't digging him. I mean, I had no problem with Coach initially in his old run, but when he came back, it just wasn't clicking for me. He was just saying things like the word of the hour or whatever that he kept just random words. Like, oh, okay, man.
Plus, with how long Raw is, he's going to run out of words.
Right? Yeah. There's only so many words you can use.
I prefer Coach. I go on the record. I still prefer him to Byron and Otunga, if we're being honest.
And I don't mind Byron, but I'm also in the camp that doesn't mind the dick flips and hand grenades. So, I like him being a little extra goofy because sometimes it's so serious and straightforward all the time.
What were you digging about Brie Bella defeating Maryse last night?
The match itself wasn't in particular. It was really the whole interaction at the end.
So it was the guys.
Yeah, the guys were a big part of it. When Miz pulled Brie out and then was kind of like, oh crap, what did I do? I know I'm a dick sometimes, but I'm not going to try to abuse women. And then, you can kind of see that switch flip in Daniel Bryan, and he got super aggressive and serious about it.
Sure.
But I just thought it was on all four accounts really, really well done. Maryse in particular, since she's not particularly into anything. Brie's still been around it, and I'm assuming probably still doing whatever, working out with Daniel Bryan or something, since they had all that time. And Maryse, I didn't feel like was particular. I mean, she's not out of shape necessarily by any means, but I felt like she was still more ring rust probable. And I looked fine though.
So you only saw highlight videos. Did you see anything from Jeff Hardy and Nakamura?
I didn't see the actual match really. I mean, there was clips of it and stuff. I caught I don't like Jeff Hardy's promo style.
Yeah.
Really, in general, I don't think I've ever really dug it.
There
it
was
super backyardy to me.
There was a very funny moment, in my opinion. I don't know who all caught it, but so you remember how back in the 80s and 90s, wrestlers, when they were in a headlock or a chokehold or whatever, they do a slow clap and try to get the crowd to get them amped up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff went for one of those, which felt really out of place in 2018, but the crowd did not know what to do with that. The crowd did not bite at all. It was very
we're not in a bingo hall, Jeff Hardy. What are you doing? They're still at indie shows, but I'm not going to tell you last time I saw it at a WWE show.
And then that was really my only note that I took last night. Other things that happened, AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, they delivered their final messages before Hell in the Cell. I remember AJ's being in the empty arena, which is kind of an approach they've been taking here lately, a lot of empty arena promos.
That's the other thing I think I saw. Did Joe have a book or something where it was the end and had him with a title or something?
Oh, yeah, there was a video that was kind of recapping their feud and making it a bedtime story for AJ's kids.
Which is great.
Yeah, this is. I'm so ready for this. Even though the last 2 weeks hasn't done much for me, they have enough invested in this where I can't imagine anyone's not excited for that match.
That's not in the cell though, is it? At least not yet, I guess.
No,
it can't be now. It's Sunday.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So the show is this Sunday. So the Hell in the Cells are Roman and Strowman, and then you've also got Hardy and Orton.
Right. Hardy and Orton makes sense because of the danger or whatever to it, the recklessness.
Yeah.
Obviously, Braun and Roman is to keep the other four people out, which isn't going to happen. They'll be involved in one way.
I can't imagine that they're not going to get in. We mentioned Becky Lynch and her creative ambush. I actually really appreciated that. That was very different. Let's see. Rusev over the bar to become number one. Rusev Day, I should say, over the bar to become number one contenders for SmackDown's Tag Team Champion. So at Hell in the Cell, hopefully that's not a pre-show match.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be, but it shouldn't be.
It's going to be English and Rusev taking on the New Day. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, I still like New Day. The stock has dropped for me quite a bit. I like him on commentary, and they're, what was his name? Kingsman, where Kofi was backstage.
Yeah.
I like that stuff, which usually is relegated to YouTube or, Facebook or whatever. Wrestling, they're still good, but everything's kind of stale at this point, and since they refuse to do anything with the tag teams.
I agree. It's that was a really good way of wording it. I still like New Day, but their stock has dropped. I feel like it's a good way to sum up the way I feel about them. And I also agree, having them being goofy on commentary in those doses works for me.
It's it only goes so far because you got three people. There's a spot for one or two goofy things like that, or when they do it as a group before relating to a match. But when you got segments and stuff, it's like, you know, that's what we got. Some other people like RTruth, which I guess Carmella's face now that she's just done with the title.
I don't know. I had my next note here: Andrade Cien Almost over RTruth. Let's see. Almost and Zelina Vega are performing the signature Tranquilo pose. Carmella ripped Vega off the apron, causing the distraction. That distraction allowed for Almost to roll up Truth and get the win by hanging on to the jorts.
And I'm an Andrade fan.
Same. And I hear Vince is becoming one too.
I hope so, because he's got great matches, you know, so at least they have good opponents for him, and it's not Sin Cara still, but, you know, they're only kind of putting him in feuds. Like, he was kind of tied to with Daniel Bryan, which went nowhere for them. But yeah, hopefully something will stick. I mean, RTruth could be a nice little one to hold over until the pay-per-view's done or something.
That's the thing is, that's what I was talking to Jerry about last week, was I don't consider this a burial yet. Yes, he picked up some losses, but they were high-profile losses against guys like Daniel Bryan. And wasn't one AJ Styles? Like, that's okay.
I mean, there are some dream matches that would be fantastic, and if they were to feud, they'd be even better. And I mean, even just for no reason, they were great.
It's worth noting. I think Zelina does a great job too.
Yeah, she's great. She's I've seen her on the indies a lot over the history. You know, I mean, she was, when I was training and stuff, she was around that group of people. She was, I don't know if they were married. She was with Austin Aries for a long time. They've been split up for a while now, but you know, when you have someone like that who's everywhere, you get to go hand in hand with them quite a bit. And you know, she picked up a lot, and she was, I guess, the stunt double, I guess, for like the Paige movie for somebody. I don't know if it was Paige or not, but she did a lot of the actual ring work for that movie. I
don't think I realized that. That's interesting. The only other note that I have was cringe-inducing. In fact, I said we were working on wedding invitations last night, and Brittany even made the note that this is so stupid. It was this backstage promo with Asuka and Naomi.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention too. I mean, just let Asuka disappear. Don't put her with Naomi. Like, if you're going to just bury her, just get rid of her. Don't stick her with Naomi.
Yeah, in fact, even this run sheet I'm reading from calls it cringeworthy. It was like a Lost in Translation promo where they were both saying things in their native language and the other person kind of understanding but not getting all of it. It was really tough to watch.
Yeah, I kind of, you know, I mean, the highlight thing kind of cuts, so to avoid copyright, it like cuts every 5 seconds or something. But even that didn't help, you know. I mean, at least that had a reason for it to not make sense. But if it's just a weird, awkward promo, they should. It could have been a cool idea to stick Asuka with Shinsuke. You know, to have just a Japanese kind of.
Yeah. Or like, you know, because aren't there some like, or at least Asian cruiserweights can maybe make some sort of stable out of them, you know, like.
Yeah, because they always get buried. You know, there's Hideo Itami, who was a huge Japanese star, and they brought him over, did nothing with him, and then he got hurt a couple of times. But, you know, he hasn't picked up traction from there. I mean, Daniel Bryan, like half of Daniel Bryan's moveset came from Hideo Itami.
I mean, TJP, I know, is Filipino, which is, you know, Asian at least, you know, and someone who's got a track record of, you know, drawing and performing well on the main roster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, and then there's several people they could pull from, you know, they had in whatever NXT appearances or, you know, stuff like that. They could definitely do it. You know, I'm sure they would turn it into a Mexicools kind of situation. They would make him a giant stereotype.
You're probably right. Last question. Just overall thoughts. You think Hell in a Cell is shaping up or not really?
With only kind of catching everything, you know, with the highlights and stuff, the matchups still look interesting enough. You know, I mean, there's no big stuff like Joe and AJ should be fantastic. Daniel Bryan and Miz and the girls could still be good if they pull it off like they did SmackDown. I mean, even Braun and Roman is probably going to be predictable, but, you know, it's a nice spectacle to have. Sure. I don't know how I feel about Mick Foley in it. I don't understand. Like, he's not tied to either of them in any way, so I'm not sure what the deal is there.
That's what Jerry said. I'm not opposed to it, really, but Hey man, it sounds like Magnolia's getting fussy. We've covered everything, man. Hey, thanks for filling in today, and of course, thanks for always sharing post to post and commenting on it. We love having you guys on there. And man, I'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah, I'll fill in anytime you need.
Yeah, no problem. We appreciate it. Tomorrow, I believe, is going to be late again. If not tomorrow, Friday, Jerry and I are going to get you a predictions episode, though. So everybody tune in later this week. We got more post to post on the way. So keep it locked.